Ever feel like you need a translator just to follow the sustainability world? Like, there's a whole other language out there.
Yeah, it can definitely feel that way sometimes, all the buzzwords and jargon.
But what if we could bypass all that? What if there's a way to not just understand sustainability, but really get in there and experience it?
Sign me up.
That's exactly what we're doing today, diving deep into Celemi and their sustainability training simulation.
Celemi, they've been doing this game-based learning thing since '85. They're kind of the experts on making learning stick.
Oh, yeah. They've definitely got the experience.
What I find really interesting about them is their whole philosophy. Creating value for people, planet, and profit.
It's not one or the other, right?
Exactly. Appeals to the idealists and the pragmatists. And it's not just some small-scale thing either. They've got 140 partners in over 70 countries.
They're everywhere. But how does this actually work in the real world? Let's bring in Siemens. They're a huge global tech company, super committed to sustainability. They actually decided to use Celemi's simulation as part of a training program for their international tech talents.
Wow. Building it right into the training from day one. That's impressive. Shows how serious they are about it.
For sure. And it wasn't just a quick little thing. We're talking a 2-day workshop, blending the simulation with Siemens' own sustainability content. Vincent Lohner, he was on the Siemens team for this, said the whole process was very positive, and the participants were able to make connections between the simulation and Siemens' real-world initiatives.
That's the goal, right? Making it real, applicable. That's what we see in the feedback a lot. People aren't just learning abstract stuff, it's clicking with their actual work.
Totally. And one thing that stood out to me about Siemens' experience, the diversity. They had people from all different backgrounds, and it led to some really interesting discussions.
Diversity is so key,
Wow.
especially with something as complex as sustainability. Everyone brings something different to the table.
Absolutely. Christina Hees, she's another one from the Siemens team, put it perfectly. One notable highlight was realizing how the simulation addressed various situations that we might not have initially considered. It demonstrated that sustainability is omnipresent. It affects everything we do.
That's so true.
And that's what's so cool about the simulation. It helps you see those blind spots, It broadens your perspective on how everything connects. Okay, so we've talked about Siemens and their experience, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. What actually happens in a Celemi sustainability simulation?
Okay, imagine this. You and your team, you're suddenly in charge of a company going through a major sustainability transformation. Big goals, limited budget. The pressure is on.
Talk about pressure. So walk me through this. It's like a role-playing simulation, right? Talk about pressure. So walk me through this. It's like a role-playing simulation, right?
Exactly. But it's not like you just get handed a list of sustainable practices and told to go save the world. You have to figure it out, make tough decisions. Just like in real life, you've got a budget, you've got stakeholders. It's the real deal.
So you're constantly juggling, right? Short-term profits versus long-term sustainability, keeping investors happy while also taking care of your workforce. How do you even measure success in that kind of environment?
Well, that's part of the challenge. And it's not like everyone's on the same page either. You've got customers wanting eco-friendly products, employees pushing for ethical sourcing, investors breathing down your neck about the bottom line. It's a balancing act, for sure.
Okay, so how's the simulation actually work? Is it like a board game with charts and graphs, or is it digital?
It's all digital, very dynamic, responds to the decisions you're making in real time.
Oh, wow. So it's really interactive.
Think of it like a flight simulator, but for sustainability. They use these really sophisticated algorithms to model how your business decisions impact, well, everything. People, planet, profit, the whole picture.
Now, that is cool. It's one thing to talk about it theoretically, but to actually see the consequences of your choices play out, that's a game changer. But lots of simulations out there. What makes Celemi so special?
I think it's the aha moments, It's not just marketing speak. People really do have these big realizations because of how the simulation is designed.
Right. We talked about those earlier. You have some examples. I'd love to hear about some of those aha moments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One participant, she was a pretty seasoned executive, said that before the simulation, she always thought of sustainability as mostly an environmental thing. But then she had to grapple with the social and economic sides of it, like trying to reduce their carbon footprint while still making their products affordable for customers.
It's all connected, isn't it?
Exactly. And that's what the simulation brings home. It makes it personal, relevant to their everyday work.
We actually pulled a quote from a participant about this. They said, "The simulation made me realize that sustainability isn't just about being green. It's about creating a more just and equitable world for everyone. It's not just this abstract concept anymore. It's about people's lives."
Exactly. And it can change how people approach their work long term. Like another participant, he was a recent grad, he thought focusing on short-term profits was the only way to be competitive. But through the simulation, he saw how investing in sustainable practices could actually save money in the long run, make the employees happier, and make them stronger in the market.
It's about thinking long-term, strategically.
And that's a tough lesson to learn in the real world, where the pressure's on for immediate results.
So the simulation, it's almost like a safe space to experiment, to make those mistakes and learn from them without any real-world consequences, right?
Exactly. It's a low-risk environment for high-stakes learning.
I like that. But it makes me wonder, who gets the most out of this? Is it for specific industries, specific job roles? I like that. But it makes me wonder, who gets the most out of this? Is it for specific industries, specific job roles?
You know what's funny? It's not really limited like that. We've seen it work for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
from people just starting their careers to, like, CEOs.
No kidding.
It's really about building that sustainability mindset wherever you fit in.
So it's giving everyone the same language, the same tools, even if they're coming from totally different places.
Exactly. And remember how we were talking about diversity? Imagine you get a team with people from marketing, finance, operations, HR, all in this simulation together. They're not just learning the concepts, they're breaking down those walls between departments.
Seeing the big picture.
Yeah. And they're walking away with practical skills, like how to actually talk about sustainability, figure out what's important to different stakeholders.
Not just like, this is important, but this is how it's important.
Yes.
You're on.
And how to make those tough decisions with limited resources, how to measure their impact, communicate what they're doing. It's really about giving them the tools to actually make change happen.
That's huge. So it's more than just a learning experience. It's really setting people up to be sustainability leaders in whatever they do.
Right. Because at the end of the day, sustainability needs everyone on board. It's a team effort.
We've covered a lot of ground today. From Celemi's unique approach to those aha moments participants experience, it's clear that this simulation is more than just a game. It's a powerful tool for change.
Definitely. It's about pushing past the buzzwords and actually changing how we think, how we work, how we live.
And on that note, here's something to think about. If sustainability really is about people, planet, and profit, where does our own responsibility begin? And where does it end?
That's the question, isn't it? And it's something we all have to grapple with individually and together.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Keep those conversations going, and we'll see you next time.